Yes, now, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay Russ, and today we are reviewing my sister's car. And this is part of my friends and family series where I review all of my friends and family's cars and just kind of give my own opinion about them, some suggestions about or recommendations about whether you should buy it or not, just my own personal opinion. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's get straight into it. So as I said in the intro, this is my sister's car. This is a Mercedes A-Class 220D AMG Line. So as I said, I review cars, and today we're going to look at this car and I'll give my personal opinion about what I think about it, what I like about it, and what I don't like about it. So let's get straight into it. We'll start off with the front of the vehicle. And for an A-Class, I actually like the A-Class models. One of the models that I always wanted, especially the A45, so like the top of the range, sportiest version, the most power. So I always like the look of them. They look nice and planted on the ground, look quite aggressive. And as you can see here, it kind of does have that look to it. I mentioned A45. It has more creases and stuff on the bonnet, so even more aggression and a more sporty look to it. But I do like the design of this. And we'll look at the headlights. I mentioned this before in a previous video, and these remind me of a bit of like Eyebrows, the No Fear brand. And again, I'll put it up on the screen if you haven't seen my other video. And if you want to see that, please go check it out. But yeah, this is really nice design. I like it. And like I said in the last video, I actually didn't know what shape this was. Quite embarrassing, to be fair. So it's got this hexagon shape here in the grille. There's a blanked out parts here, so there's no actual grills there, but there is a slight gap there for airflow to the tires. Grille here, as I said, some more ventilation down there. But overall, it's a really nice design. It's quite simple, quite straightforward, and it has that more sporty look because it is an AMG line. So once you have AMG involved with the styling and the performance of the vehicle, they look more sporty and they perform more sporty in a sense. So overall, I think this is quite a simplistic design, but it still looks nice. Every time you see well, in my opinion, anytime you see an A-Class on the road, you're thinking, yeah, that looks quite nice. And especially even though this is not the highest trim level in terms of a sporty AMG A-Class, they look quite nice, and if you slap a spoiler on the back, it looks even nicer in my opinion. But yeah, that's the front of the vehicle. In terms of a rating, I would give it, yeah, I'll give it a 6, just because it is a standard look. It's nothing out there or too special. It's recognizable. It's kind of like almost like a timeless design, and even though this car is a 21 plate, it still looks the part, it still looks modern and quite nice enough. So yeah, that's the front of the vehicle.
The Mercedes-Benz A-Class 220D AMG line has 188 brake horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque. It has a 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel engine and does a 0 to 60 in approximately 7 seconds with a top speed of 146 miles per hour.
Right, coming down the side of the vehicles, we'll start off with the tyres, the alloys. So these are currently sitting on 18-inch rims. I'm not 100% sure on the options you have for this trim level. I believe it goes up to 20s if I'm not mistaken, but I'll put it up on the screen so you know for certain. But yeah, these are 18s. They look fine enough. I mean, I've said it before in previous videos, I prefer bigger rims, but for what it is, it's decent. The design is nice, simple but effective. And coming down the side of the vehicle, it's quite straightforward. A couple creases, one long crease down the side, and body color side skirts as well. Nothing amazing going on. Got obviously a chrome surround around the window. I prefer it being black because I feel like with the chrome. When it starts to fade, you really notice that it doesn't have much of a shine to it. But at least with black, you can kind of hide it a little bit. But yeah, it's fine for what it is. I guess it kind of goes a bit well with the color of this vehicle in this sense, with this being in this gray color. But yeah, overall, I think it's got a nice side profile. The way it starts to slope a little bit, it sits low down. I think the curves and the angles of this vehicle is really nice. It suits it really well. I can't complain about the side looks of the vehicle. But yeah, it is a hatchback. This is a 4-door version or a 5-door version if you want to include the boot, but it's got plenty of space on the inside, and we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, it's nice, does the job, and I couldn't complain with this. Again, I'll give it a 6 as well. It's nothing special, nothing out there, but it's nice enough, you know? So yeah, that is the side of the vehicle. Now, for the back of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, I actually really like it because, especially at night, when you see those headlights, it looks quite iconic. But the rear of the vehicle is quite nice and simple, understated. Like I said, I mentioned you have the A45, so that's top of the level. It's got all the bells and whistles, so to speak. It's got the spoiler, the lines and the aggressiveness of it and everything like that. But it looks quite nice, and I think I mentioned it in the last video that it's quite understated in a way, but yeah, I think it's a decent design, and yeah, there's no complaints here apart from the exhaust. Again, I've said it, it feels like I say it 100 times now, but the way that a lot of modern vehicles are going, these are normally like fake surrounds or extended tips, and then the exhaust pipes are actually further back or under. In this case, these are blanked out, and the exhaust is actually underneath. It's got, for styling purposes, a bit of a diffuser in a sense, but it's not really going to be doing much diffusing. Again, more blanked out parts that look like it's a sporty car that has lots of vents and things for aerodynamics, but in this case, it doesn't have any use, most likely because it's a lower trim level. But yeah, I think overall it's a decent design. Got standard brake light up there, your rear lights here, and yeah, I think it's not a bad looking rear end for the vehicle. So yeah, I think overall, I think I'm going to give this like 6s overall. I think it's nothing too wild out there or special out there in my opinion, because of course I have a preference. I like more maybe sporty cars and high performance cars with all these extravagant designs and lines and creases, but this does a job as an everyday car. A lot of people, or a lot of young people, I think, aspire to have this as like a first car. So it does a job, and it's not the most priciest thing out there, especially when you're looking at a used one. But yeah, I think it's overall is a good car. Now, I want to just a bit of a side note. If you have watched some of my recent videos, I have done quite a few Mercedes, and I think there's quite a few more to come. And it might just be because everyone is thinking like me. Mercedes is my favorite brand. It is quite a reliable and well-known brand. So I've had this one. I've had the GLC. I've had the GLA. There's one of my friends has got an electric version of the SUVs. One of the SUVs. I can't remember the model off the top of my head. So yeah, there's a few more coming. So Mercedes, shout me, sponsor me, something. Let's do something, But yeah, on a serious note though, I hope you are enjoying these videos. Please leave some comments in the down below, and like, share the video, give me some feedback. I appreciate every single one of you. So yeah, let's move on to the inside of the vehicle, and we'll go from there. Oh yeah, I forgot the boot, if you're interested. Oh, it's not. Why is it not open? Right, so it's a hatchback, so obviously it's not going to have a big boot, but my sister definitely can pack this up. I've seen her do it. So you can fit more than enough, especially if you're by yourself, single person, or a couple, partner, whatever. You can hold a bit in there, and if I just move this out the way, pretty sure there's a little bit. No, I was lying. there isn't a lot of space under here, so it's literally just enough space for a tire repair kit, first aid kit. So yeah, there's not a lot that you can actually fit under there. So why is it not shot in there? There we go. But yeah, I feel like you know what you're going to get when you get a hatchback. You're not going to have the biggest boot. I remember when I had a Vauxhall Corsa, doing the grocery shop or doing a big grocery shop was a bit of a challenge to try and fit everything in the boot. I think actually the boot for the Vauxhall Corsa is a little bit smaller, but I'll put up on the screen how many litres this is if you're interested in that sort of stats and figures. But yeah, it does a job. It's got tie down points, and I think that's about it. If you want to put the seats down, I think, yeah, you can reach from here actually, because it's not that far to reach. But yeah, the boot overall is decent enough. And yeah, now let's actually move on. So we're inside, and it's not, it feels a bit weird because there's not a lot for me to say, because the last video was a Mercedes as well, and it was a 2020 and this is a 2021. So really nothing much has actually changed in here. But again, just for the sake of the video and for those who haven't seen the last video, I'll give a quick overview of everything that I like about this car and the features. So starting with the steering wheel, you've got a combination between buttons and like a little touchpad. So there's a little touchpad on either side which control the two screens here. And then you've got your volume controls, which are all buttons. Home button, the home button is, well, the home function is actually a button. And then you've got your cruise control and things like that. So overall, this is a nice steering wheel. I think it's nice. It's got the flat bottom because it's an AMG. Decent height for the steering wheel. You've got plenty of adjustment here. I always say this, I won't adjust the steering wheel just because I don't want to mess up how my friends have got the seat in. The only thing that I will adjust is just moving it forward and backwards because I might be taller than some of them. But yeah, it's got everything you need right here on the steering wheel. But if you need to, it's got a touchpad down here. So you've got all the functions up here on the screen. And yeah, you can do everything quite quickly. So this car has Apple CarPlay. So if you are using that, you can still use the functions and the shortcuts on the buttons down here. So you've got a navigation map, and you've got radio/media and telephone. So now that I've actually kind of looked at this car a little bit more, I found that yeah, these shortcuts still work in Apple CarPlay, and also obviously when you're not using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So I've had this car for a week because my sister's been away on holiday in nice sunny Marbella. And yeah, I've got to know the car, got to feel the car, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when we go for a drive later on in the video. But again, as I mentioned before in the last video, it's got a perfect blend. So you still got physical buttons here for the climate control and the hazard lights. So that's a really big key thing for me, because I feel like it's a lot harder to control the climate control and functions like that, quick ones, when it's all in a touch screen. Because I feel like it's just a little bit dangerous, because you do kind of lose a little bit focus whilst you're on the road. But overall, the interior is nice. And yeah, that's the thing I like about Mercedes. Even if you're in the entry-level models, such as an A-Class in this instance, or even like the C-Class, which are technically the lower end in terms of price point, you still get that luxury feel throughout. Here, you got like an Alcantara type material, nice red stitching as well, gloss parts, leather parts, everything's really nice about the interior. So I guess in saying that, I would probably give this as an interior and an interior cluster and everything like that. I feel like it's a 7 out of 10, just because it has that premium feel, even if the price point doesn't reflect that in a sense. But then I guess maybe this is of the higher price points out of the hatchbacks that are out there in the market, because Mercedes and a lot of the other German brands are probably in the premium bracket compared to other brands in terms of each model line or body type. But yeah, overall, I really like the interior. These seats are quite nice. They hug you quite nice. They're sporty kind of looking seats because it's an AMG. So yeah, I would certainly recommend, if you want a car, especially if you're going to look on the used market, if you want a car that's not too pricey but has a luxury feel, then the Mercedes is the one for you. And also again, depending on what body type. In this case, this is a hatchback, and oh yeah, before I actually forgot to mention, because it is a hatchback, this does actually sit quite low compared to other hatchbacks that I've sat in or driven. I feel like this one really planted on the floor and things like that. But yeah, it's a nice place to be. Can't complain. And obviously, shout out Jamaica every time. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but my sister's got these boxing gloves hanging from the rear view mirror. Jamaica, shout out every time. That's where my family's from. But yeah, let's hop in the back and I'll give a quick review, or I'll try and squeeze in the back because it's a hatchback. And so I do find them quite tight. So let's go. Right, so I'm sitting in the back now, and as you probably can see, it's quite tight. So I've got this in my current seating position. So I guess you could say I have it a little bit far back, but that's just the way I like it. The seat, I would say, is probably not completely straight or upright completely. I did recline it ever so slightly. And no, mum, I'm not lying down on the floor. It's not that far back, all right? But yeah, I feel like with any hatchback, it's always going to be a smaller space at the back. It's probably not, hatchbacks obviously, in theory, are not the most practical cars for families. But if you're single, or even if you're in a relationship and it's just the two of you, maybe a dog, then yeah, you'll be all right. But you can fit a car seat in here, but it probably will be on the tighter side. So my sister is obviously an auntie to my children, and she's had my eldest a couple times, like overnight or for a day out, and putting the car seat in there, it's not too bad. You do have to obviously put the seat quite far back, and a lot of cars these days, I've noticed, have seats where the top half protrudes out a little bit like this. So it does mean that you probably have to put it a bit further forward than probably necessary if this was a bit more of a flat back to it. But it's still okay. Like, now that I've put my legs like this, it's not so bad. I could probably do a somewhat long distance drive sitting in the back. But yeah, if I was to go like this, no chance. Like, there's no chance I'd be comfortable. But yeah, just to mention other things in here, I mean, under the actual seat, I can actually put my feet under, so that probably would help with a bit more comfortable feel when I'm sitting at the back here. You've also got vents here in the back, so you have some control over the ventilation here, so you can actually point and direct it where you need it to go. And then you have your USB points as well, and obviously little nets on the back of the vehicle there. So overall, it's not too bad. Obviously, like I said, it's not the biggest space in the world. Let me come out because I actually feel a little bit cramped. Woo! Okay, so just to be a little bit more comfortable, because it is a little bit cramped with the driver's seat in my driving position. I would say overall though, the whole interior as a whole, front and the back, is decent enough. Like, you can fit a family in the back. It might be a little bit more cramped if you had, well, it definitely would be more cramped if you had two car seats in the back. So it's definitely not ideal for that. But if your kids are grown, then I don't see a problem with having this as a family car. But yeah, it's a nice car. Sits nice and low down, has that sporty feel to it, especially when you take it for a drive. Like, you'll see later, it can be a fun car to drive. But yeah, I think overall, I really like the vehicle. It's probably actually something that I would consider having as my second car, because I'm currently on the hunt for another car actually, because I've got a Volvo XC60 as my main car, family car, and then I just need something that I can use to go to work and stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely something that I would have and definitely would recommend it. So we're going to go for a drive now, and then yeah, we'll have a quick interview with my sister and get her to kind of give her opinion on how she's found this car, things she likes about it, things she doesn't like about it, and then yeah, we'll call it a day. In terms of comfort, we'll start there. Like, it is a low down car, and it's not going to have the suspension like maybe, or the padding in a sense, like an SUV would. So you do tend to feel a bit more of the jolts and the bumps in the road. But saying that, you feel it, but it doesn't feel like uncomfortable or like really bad unless you like hit a mad, you know, a crazy pothole, a deep one, and hit it at speed. In general, it feels nice, it feels smooth. And yeah, that the body roll is not crazy or anything like that. So in terms of just the comfort in driving, yeah, I think it's actually pretty decent. It's better than most. I used to have a Corsa, and yeah, when you're going over bumps and stuff like that, yeah, it was a lot. You really did feel it. Or even like my last car, which was a Mercedes C250, that wasn't great going over bumps. But I think that was also because I had low profile tires. I had 19-inch rims on that, so the tires were thinner, so I guess you would feel the vibrations a bit more, whereas these have got thicker tires, well, a bigger profile because they have got smaller rims. But yeah, it's very comfortable. Then in terms of actually performance and delivery, so as you may know, I reviewed a GLC recently, and that car is the same engine as this. I tried to make a light and I couldn't make it in time. Anyway, as I was saying, in terms of performance delivery, it's really good because the last review I did was the GLC with the same 2-litre diesel engine, so it's getting roughly the same power. But obviously, this is a smaller car, this is lighter, so that power delivery is a lot more, it's a lot sharper. So yeah, I think it's really good. And for what most people need it for, it's perfect for a young driver. It'll feel quite nice, especially if you're a first-time driver and you've never experienced, like especially like maybe the type of cars you learn in. You probably didn't experience that sort of power, and this probably makes you feel like you're driving a boy racer, if I'm honest. So yeah, power delivery is going to be perfect for most people. For petrol heads, yeah, of course, we crave higher power, better performance, and the adrenaline and everything like that. But yeah, this is perfect. Driving it around the country roads, you'll be all good. Driving it on the motorway, it's fine. Yeah, it's all good. And then just in terms of driving mode, you've got your comfort, you've got your individual mode, so you can set each little minor detail about the drivetrain and thing exactly how you want it. And then you've also got eco. But I think generally speaking, you're probably only going to want to drive it in comfort most of the time because it delivers the power very well, even though it's a comfort mode. So I think it's not too bad, to be fair. But like, I guess, yeah, if you're driving on a country road and you really want to send it, then yeah, put it in sports mode. Cool, no problem. But I think overall, you're going to be happy with comfort. In terms of the automatic mode, it's an 8-speed auto. So yeah, the way that the computer manages the gear changing and things like that, it's fine. Then you've got the manual mode as well. So you can use the gear paddles, gear shift paddles on the steering wheel, and they work quite well. The only downside is that it does shift automatically, and I think it intervenes a bit too soon. Because like if you just leave it and you don't change gear, or if you're maybe rolling, so you're not applying the brake and you're not really applying much accelerator, then it just goes straight back into auto mode. So I'd like a little bit more control in that sense, that you can switch back into auto mode when you need to. But yeah, in general, it's a nice car. I have no issues with the performance of this vehicle. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my review overall, and we'll just go on to the interview with my sister, and then we can call it a day, call it a wrap. Right, so time for the interview. This is my sister.
Hello.
Whatever. But yeah, so obviously this is my little sister, and obviously I had the car, as I said. She was away on holiday, now she's back, so it's a different day, just after church, so just a quick thing because I need to go home, you know. got things
So
to
do I.
do. Got 2 little ones that are probably grouchy and need a nap. But we're here. So, first question I ask everybody the same question. Petrol head or not? Do you into cars or is it just an A to B thing for you?
Absolutely love cars. I would like to have a new car every year or every 6 months if I could.
Cool. Nice and short, nice and sweet. Straight to the point. I like that. So, you've got the A-Class 220D. This is now
AMG
your
Line.
AMG Line. Yeah, well,
Just have to clarify.
I've already mentioned that in the video. This is what little siblings, bro. Like, what's she doing? But yeah, so this is your 3rd car now.
Yes.
You've had, what did you have first?
Citroen C2.
Citroen C2 and then the Nissan Juke.
Duke, yes.
Such an auntie car, Nissan Duke. If
Listen,
you know,
I
you
wanted
know.
to
If you know, you know.
I needed to experience an SUV car, and that was the cheapest one I could afford.
At the time, but yeah, you got money now. You got money now. So yeah, so I've asked other people before, like, would you recommend the car to people? I guess it depends if you have a family or not, because it's not really a family car, hatchback, if you have the option to get an SUV. But what would you say about it? Do you like it? Do you want to get rid of it as soon as possible? Talk to me.
I love my car. I thought I would hate having a low car coming from the Duke, but I love it. It feels sometimes you can feel unsafe in a low car, because I think that's why a lot of people get the SUV to feel like secure.
Yeah.
But I actually feel very safe in it, very secure. It's a good, hefty, heavy car. Yeah, I really love it. I would want to keep it. I would definitely recommend it. If you don't like low cars, then don't get it.
Yeah.
My car's very, very low, so going
I
over speed bumps.
I've had it for a week, and the amount of times I'm like,
You
you hear a little scratch. I mean, I've never scratched a bumper. You know what I mean? There's no scratches, honestly. But no, there's a couple of times it's clipped. But even if I'm going slow, like you still clip it. It's like you have to really make sure that you approach, because obviously when you brake, the car naturally dips anyway, so you have to wait for it to level out again before going over. So,
but it's really good, and it's like the gear changes are really nice. Sometimes in an automatic you can feel it too much, and it's like struggling. But yeah, no, it's really good, really smooth. The diesel very efficient as well. So like 600.
Not the way I drive though.
Yeah,
I just kept watching that mileage go down and down.
Cool. Do you know what? I could see it on the app while I was in Spain. I was like,
what are you stalking, man?
I'm checking how my car is, really.
Stalking me, you know? Like, I'll look after the car, you know. I'm not gonna write it off or rag it or whatever. But yeah, just to keep it short and sweet, because like I said, we've got things to do in our Sunday afternoon. If money wasn't an issue, what car would you get?
I would get is it the ECQ or Mercedes ECQ, yeah.
EQC.
EQC, Mercedes. I like the SUV type.
And you want an electric car?
And I would like a higher horsepower. Mine's what, like 186 or something like that?
180. Yeah, it's around 180, 190. Depends who you ask.
So I wouldn't mind a higher horsepower, because I want.
But that's electric though. The EQC, the one that you talked about, what Danny's got.
Yeah. But that's like 300. I just want to move faster and quicker. That's all. That's all I want.
Well then, you could just get the faster version of your car.
Yeah, I think I like to try new cars. So I've technically.
You want to try something different?
Yeah, I've done the. I love Mercedes. I love the interior design of it.
So you want to get another Mercedes?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I thought you'd say something a bit more mad, like
or my
like
other
supercar sort of thing. But
no, or a truck. I love a truck.
Oh, like a Ford Raptor, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love
Fair
a
enough.
truck.
Fair enough. Each to their own.
Yeah.
I instantly think supercar and maybe like your Rolls Royces, that sort of price point. But
a range.
yeah, thank you
Jeep.
for letting me have in your car whilst you was
It's
away.
okay.
And
Hope you put full tank back in it.
no.
Cool.
You gave it to me with no petrol in it anyway.
Times are hard.
So yeah, so this is the end of the video. So I appreciate everyone if you have made it this far, and please make sure to share it to people who are into cars, or maybe even considering an A-Class and they just want to see what it's like before even actually going to look at one in person. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Bye.